I now have to discuss Manchester United situation with Eric Ten Hag, that big holdup. What is going on here? What is going on here with the Real Madrid, with the Manchester United Eric Ten Hag situation? It seems like we have talked about this for ages now. I mean, we've this been the story over and over and over again, and it's going to be continuing to be the story until they make some sort of decision. Now, the latest reports, and these reports are coming from sources close to the NUS Sporting Group, the new group that runs the sporting operations with Manchester United. They have yet to decide Ten Hag's future, and he's currently, Eric Ten Hag is in a position where he's having to wait to learn whether or not he is going to be the United manager next season. Apparently, according to sources, one of the co-owners of Manchester United, the face of this new group coming in, Sir Jim Ratcliffe, and his NUS team are apparently doing an end-of-season review that looks at Manchester United's total performance throughout the season from the beginning to the end. And it also, is a big impact on whether or not that assessment is going to have a big impact / focus on Ten Hag, on whether or not he should be here or he should be at United, or, should be sacked. It's been reported that this assessment is going to take around 4 days, but there is no time limit according to United. Yeah, I don't know. Number one, also it's important to know that during a few days ago, before the FA Cup final, there were sources that said they were talking to McKenna at Ipswich Town. Now, McKenna does have links to United. He was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's assistant during his period at Manchester United. There was a time that he was Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's assistant. He has taken Ipswich Town from Champions League, from Football League One to the Championship, up to the Premier League in back-to-back seasons. A remarkable impact. There's also, and they discussed with him, but it's looking like McKenna is going to stay at Ipswich Town. There's also been throughout this last month or so, or throughout this period or so, that the United have had interest in Gareth Southgate, and then there has been more speculation around Roberto De Zerbi, especially when he walked away from Brighton after the season that they had. So yeah, there has been rumors and all that going on. Now, this is very tricky and very confusing for me for why the hold up in this decision. Because if Eric Ten Hag, look, I don't think one game should determine whether or not a manager should stay or not. Winning or not winning a FA Cup final, I don't know if that should be the deciding factor. I think United need to look at whether or not they have the style of play, whether or not they've shown patterns that that a manager coming in should show, whether or not there's been improvement in the team, and you have to include all the circumstances of injuries and all that, and all the things that Ten Hag has gone through. And despite one game should not matter, when you look at the fact that they've won 2 trophies in 2 years, that should be a factor. Now, if we want to list out the positives and negatives of Eric Ten Hag, number one, the positives, positives and excuses. Let's say positives and excuses. Number one, this has been a horrible injury-riddled team. Manchester United, when you've looked at this, it's been an injury crisis this season. There's no going away from that. It's been an absolutely injury crisis this season. When you look at the amount of games players have missed, the amount of minutes they have missed, and it's been crucial players throughout the season that's missed games. Crucial players, a guy like Lisandro Martinez, Tyrell Malacia, Harry Maguire has been out a lot. Varane has been out a lot. Um, Mason Mount, he's been out a lot. Anthony Martial has yet to play this season. We don't know where he's been. It's just there's been a lot of players that have been just out, just in and out of this team, and it is a proper Luke Shaw. We haven't seen him at all this season. Essentially, it's been an injury-riddled season, so that is a valid excuse for him. And you have to look at the situations that he's dealt with in his 2 seasons when it comes down to the Cristiano Ronaldo, walking in and dealing with the Cristiano Ronaldo situation. That is a hard situation for a manager to deal with in his first real big job, big elite job in Europe. I know Ajax is, a big job in the Netherlands, but when you look at world football, I think when you talk about the likes of Manchester United, it's a different level. One of the biggest clubs in the world. So dealing that situation going in is very difficult. And the way he handled it was, in my opinion, the only way he could have. The Jadon Sancho situation, the way he handled that, there's a gray area whether it was right or wrong. You see what he's doing at Borussia Dortmund. You can't argue against that. And also more positives is what he did last season. The progress he showed last season, the runs that they won, and this was when the team was fully healthy, and they had a good balance of being able to take the game to the opposition and being able to, play a little bit more in the transition. But that is not Ten Hag's way, though. Ten Hag's way is the Barcelona way, to say possession-oriented, playing high line, playing roulette football. That is it, and that's the football that we see that we've seen him play at Ajax. We don't see that at Manchester United, so that's something of concern. But last season we saw a good balance from him, and the team performed very, very well. Casemiro, he came in, he played very, very well that first season. He was a very important player for Manchester United, and then this season he fell off. But yeah, I think last season the Premier League was a true positive. Winning 2 trophies in 2 years, the trophy drought this team has been unbelievable before Ten Hag was here. When you look at the second year on from Jose Mourinho's run all the way up to the end of Ole Gunnar Solskjaer going into Ralf Rangnick in that season, through the end of the 2021-22 campaign, it's been horrible campaign for United. Trophyless drought. And for a team like United, that's unacceptable. That's Tottenham-esque. And he has came in and he has won 2 trophies in 2 seasons. That is factual. That's not arguable. He won a Carabao Cup and he's won an FA Cup. He has won more trophies these past 2 years than Mikel Arteta. In fact, he's won infinitely more amount, because Mikel Arteta hasn't had any trophies. Ten Hag has won 2. Ten Hag has won more trophies in his 2 years at Manchester United than Mikel Arteta has had in 5.5, I believe, seasons at Arsenal. 5.5, maybe 6 years, something of that nature. So there is some respect that deserves to be given towards Eric Ten Hag for the situation he has dealt with. I think some things that he said in the pressers have not helped him. The defiance when it comes to style of play, talking about not having certain players that fits his mold, even though he brought in a lot of these players. When you see the excuses that he makes in press conferences, talking about the refereeing decisions a lot and all that, there has been certain things that can, rub United fans the wrong way throughout the season. And he's done a very good U-turn job of alienating a lot of United fans, because there was a lot of United fans that were saying Eric Ten Hag at the wheel, singing Eric Ten Hag at the wheel. And a lot of those fans this season are wanting him out. Now, whether or not the FA Cup final changes anything, that is... you can see there's a shift of United fans, coming back and saying, okay, we want Ten Hag back in. But the thing is, the Ten Hag situation is just rinse and repeat with United. Is firing Ten Hag and bringing in Mauricio Pochettino, is that what you need to do to make United reach the next level? Is that what it is? I don't know, but I don't understand the big holdup here with United and Eric Ten Hag. They should just come out and make the decision, because at the end of the day, there is nothing that happens between now and the next few days. They should have been, doing a season long. They should have been analyzing the season and doing this assessment throughout the last few weeks. They shouldn't wait till the end of the season to start this assessment, because it puts you in the position to be behind. Now Mauricio Pochettino has walked away. He has an opportunity to talk other clubs. It looks like Barcelona, they're locked in on Hansi Flick, but imagine if Man United, imagine if Barcelona wanted Mauricio Pochettino, or imagine United, maybe they wanted Hansi Flick. Now that's not even a possibility for them. If they decide to sack Ten Hag. I don't understand the situation that they're finding themselves in, but it's Manchester United. It's been a poor run club for a very, very long time. So, yeah, it doesn't surprise me at all.